LoveLore Library. Chapter 856, Meeting Tan Shuangshuang again v. Are you pregnant? Feng-Riching scanned Tan Shuangshuang's pregnant belly with a faint smile. Does the child belong to Lu Fuyong? Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression shifted. Nobody understood better than her what Mu Ling cared about the most. That man cared about the reputation the most. If the people from Tianshan Manor knew about her past, that she had been together with someone else, Mu Ling would never forgive her. Princess. Tan Shuangshuang smiled lightly. I don't know what you're talking about. Your husband came to bother me the other day. I didn't allow him to do that. Then, you went and destroyed my reputation. I was on my own before I got together with young Master Mu. How could you ruin the Mu family's reputation? Feng-Riching was rather surprised. Young Master Mu. Mu Ling. Has Tan Shuangshuang become Mu Ling's concubine? Feng-Riching never had any kind of impression on Tan Shuangshuang. She neither liked nor disliked her. She was just annoyed by Tan Shuangshuang's relentless behavior, her persistence in bothering her. Is Tan Shuangshuang looking for trouble now? Whoever was related to Mu Ling was Feng-Riching's enemies. Couldn't Lu Yuchen and his father satisfy you? Feng-Riching smiled happily and advanced toward Tan Shuangshuang. Now, you have hooked up with Mu Ling. Could it be that you've fallen for both father and son? Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression darkened. In fact, Tan Shuangshuang should never have taken the initiative to go and provoke Feng-Riching because of her previous experiences. But, she yearned to fulfill her own urge to show off her new power in front of her old enemy. So what if you're beautiful? You've fallen for a lowly state preceptor. But I've become the woman of Tianshan Manor's young master. I'm much better than you even if I'm only a concubine. You're just the state preceptor's woman. Feng-Riching would never fall for Mu Ling's son. Mu Shi was a wicked and evil villain. Feng-Riching would never adore that kind of man. She would only fall for a gentleman like Mu Qingyin. Tan Shuangshuang smiled faintly. Princess, is it fun to slander me? I had a clean slate when I got together with the young master. He knows it clearly. Otherwise, why would he allow me to enter the Mu family? Feng-Riching smiled happily. That's hard to say. Mu Ling might have a peculiar habit. He might like the feeling of being betrayed by women or even the feeling of becoming a father. Tan Shuangshuang did not understand what Feng-Riching was talking about. But, she knew perfectly well that whatever Feng-Riching said would never be nice things. How dare you, me for extra chapters. The maid, Xiao Lu, disliked Tan Shuangshuang. But, what Feng-Riching had said was slanderous toward Mu Ling. She soon became angry. You're a lowly woman. How dare you insult my young master? Boom! Luo Li went forward and kicked Xiao Liu's chest. Xiao Lu was sent flying over the street. You're just a humble maid. How dare you scold my Xiao Qing? Tan Shuangshuang's face darkened even more. She did not understand the reason why there was always someone else who would help Feng-Riching no matter where they were. Furthermore, the person who helped Feng-Riching was a woman. Both of them were women. How could that woman help Feng-Riching given that she was that beautiful and captivating? Was that woman not jealous of Feng-Riching? It seemed to be much or less the same situation back in Luyun Kingdom. Those women adored Feng-Riching deeply. On the other hand, there were some men who hated Feng-Riching deeply when they talked about her. It was strange. Tan Shuangshuang relaxed when she thought of that incident. She smiled gently. Feng-Riching, so what if you're good and talented? You're always surrounded by only women. On the contrary, I am always surrounded by numerous men when I was in a better place before. There was always an endless stream of men, just like flies, lingering around me. Tan Shuang believed that there were men who had feelings for Feng Ruching in Luyun Kingdom. But, when some young masters went to propose to her, they were nearly killed by the people of the Princess Manor. The common people did have not a single chance either. Feng Ruching enjoyed such a high status and power that they could never dream of being with her. Moreover, they were unwilling to pay attention to her. In fact, Feng Ruching had never paid any attention to men. She was gentle only toward women. That was why a lot of women adored her. Those men hated Feng Ruching because almost all of the women in Luyun Kingdom adored Feng Ruching. Their manic adoration threatened the men's marital prospects. How could they not hate Feng Ruching? Tan Shuang believed that she was talented and captivating. That was why a lot of men fought for her attention. She believed that Lu Yuchen had gotten tired of her and had gone in search of new excitement when she lost him. She never thought that she herself was the reason why Lu Yuchen had left her in the first place. She also never realized that her habit of labeling the men as flies proved that she herself was feces. Only feces would attract the flies. 1-inch Feng Ruching. Tan Shuang was serious now. I don't care how you ruin my reputation. But, he'll never allow you to slander my young master. My child belongs to him. I know that you're jealous of me. You're jealous that Lu Yuchen likes me. Uncle Lu treats me like his own daughter. Hence, you hit me. You even infuriated Aunt Lu. That is why Lu Yuchen has divorced you. You're also jealous that I've become the woman of the Mu family's young master. You're just a wife of lowly estate preceptor. But, you do know that your birth and background is better than mine. Your father is the emperor of Luyun Kingdom. You're adored and protected wherever you go. He would never punish you no matter how you bully or harm others. But, what I own today is the result of my own efforts. I have taken baby steps each and every day. Feng Ruching, could you please let me go? I never liked Lu Yuchen and have never dreamed of fighting with you for him. It's the result of his own wishful thinking. I'm innocent. If you're angry, go ahead and seek your revenge from him. I'm begging you for real now. Please forgive me. I do love my young master. I'm begging you. Please don't ruin my happiness by coming all the way here to Tianshan Manor. Luo Li was stunned. Doesn't Shao Qing belong to Tianshan Manor? Luyun Kingdom. It sounds familiar. It feels like I've heard it from someone else. Oh. Feng Ruching was calm. I have forgiven you long ago. Tan Shuang was speechless. I forgave both of you since the day Lu Yuchen divorced me. I forgave both of you when I almost died that day. I have even pasted the notice on the entrance of the city and asked you not to bother me. Tan Shuang, why did you come and annoy me when I've forgiven you? Me for extra chapters. The crowd was infuriated when they heard what Tan Shuang had said. But, they did not dare to voice out their opinions after listening to Feng Ruching's side of the story. Some people had spent all of their time cultivating so their intelligence was low. It is what we know as stupidity. However, not everyone is like that. It was obvious that the Mu family's concubine was the one who had started the conflict. She was the one who started elaborating on her own pitiful state. Feng Ruching had only given her side of the story after Tan Shuang had spoken. So, it was clear who was the one at fault here. Feng Ruching shrugged with a smile. Moreover, I'm not slandering you about what had happened between you, Lu Yuchen, and his father. The entire Luyun Kingdom is well aware of that fact. I have even heard that you were almost killed by Lu Fiong's wife when you hooked up with him. So, I just want to ask you whether you're enjoying the adoration from both Mu Ling and Mu Shi when you have become part of the Mu family. Tan Shuang went pale. Her whole being was engulfed by her hatred. She had forgotten that the others could easily learn about her past by investigating it in Luyun Kingdom. Tan Shuangshuang regretted what she had done. It was the first time she regretted provoking Feng Ruqing. Feng Ruqing continued talking when she saw that Tan Shuangshuang had nothing more to say in response. I heard that Mu Shi is fond of women. You're such a beauty. It's normal if he has that kind of feeling toward you. I just never thought that they have that kind of weird habit. Young Lady Tan, I congratulate you on being able to enjoy the happiness of living with two husbands, especially when they're father and son. Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression changed drastically. Feng Ruqing smiled and interrupted Tan Shuangshuang before she was able to utter any more words. Young Lady Tan, you don't have to be shy. It's known to the entire world. Mu Shi betrayed his own father. I just wonder how many people know of this incident. Tan Shuangshuang was shocked. She became nervous when she saw the look of disdain among the surrounding crowd. If the public knew that Mu Ling's woman was not an innocent woman, Mu Ling might beat her to death given how he prioritized his dignity. Moreover, Feng Ruqing had even added some more spice into the story and the others could be easily misled. In fact, she did sleep with Lu Fuyong. But Lu Yuchen had never touched her. Her numerous attempts proved to be failures. She had nothing to do with Mu Shi either. She was wrongly accused. Feng Ruqing was intentionally ruining her reputation. 1 inch I didn't. Tan Shuangshuang wanted to justify herself, but a cold voice came from behind her. Tan Shuangsheng, aren't you done humiliating yourself? Go back to the Mu family now. That voice was neither familiar nor unfamiliar to Tan Shuangshuang. But her heart still fluttered with anxiety. She turned her head and saw a man slowly approaching them. Uncle. I didn't. Tan Shuangshuang's eyes were filled up with tears. She shook her head and her voice was filled with pity. She had never seduced Mu Shi. Not even once. If Mu Qingyin misunderstood her, how could she survive in the Mu family? I don't know whether you've done that or not. But I've told you that you have no right to address me in such a way that you are using the status of the Mu family's young mistress. Tan Shuangshuang pursed her lips. Second young manor master, she's wrongly accusing me. I haven't done what she has claimed. Me for extra chapters. It's enough if you yourself know about those things. You don't have to explain yourself to me. The Mu family's reputation being ruined is related to my elder brother. But what has it got to do with me? Mu Qingyin smiled faintly. He had never cared about reputation. The old manor master and his sister-in-law did not care about it too. In fact, the Mu family strived for strength instead of reputation. His elder brother was the only one who cared about reputation. Tan Shuangshuang felt weak. Her eyes were filled with deep pain. He doesn't believe in me. How dare he choose not to trust me? Feng Ruqing. It's all her fault. Tan Shuangshuang trembled. She did not say anything anymore as she turned and left. Mu Qingyin gazed in the direction where Tan Shuangshuang had left. He smiled coldly. Second young manor master of the Mu family. Feng Ruqing touched her chin softly. She was intentional in misleading the crowd so that both Mu Ling and his son's reputation would be ruined. The second young manor master's unclear comment just now supported what she had said. Why? Why did the second young manor master of the Mu family want to destroy Mu Ling? Mu Qingyin was just leaving when he suddenly saw a bracelet on Feng Ruqing's hand. His eyes narrowed and he swiftly came toward her. He reached out and grabbed Feng Ruqing's hand. Feng Ruqing responded naturally. She stretched her leg without any hesitation and kicked Mu Qingyin a few meters away. The noisy streets soon fell into a heavy silence. All noises disappeared and they stared at Feng Ruqing in shock. Luoli was stunned too. Did Feng Ruqing just kick the second young manor master of the Mu family? To their surprise, she had attacked the second young manor master of the Mu family. That was the old master's favorite son in the Mu family. Moreover, he was Nan Xian's uncle too. Mu Qingyin cleared his throat. The imperial guards were going to react, and Mu Qingyin raised his hand and prohibited them from doing anything more. His steps faltered as he slowly walked toward Feng Ruqing. He seemed guilty and apologetic. "I'm sorry. I went over the line just now. I didn't mean to harm you." "Oh. I do know that you mean no harm." Feng Ruqing apologized sincerely. "But I couldn't control myself. I dislike being touched by any male. That's disgusting. I'll get goosebumps all over my body. That's why I was unable to refrain from kicking you." That was the truth. It was not her fault. She could not control her Buddhist natural response. Mu Qingyin was speechless. It was the first time he was disliked by someone else. It was a heartbreaking feeling. "Young lady, where did you get that bracelet?" Mu Qingyin stared at the bracelet on Feng Ruqing's hand. His breathing seemed erratic. Feng Ruqing touched her bracelet. Mu Shi had met her before, and he was well aware of the relationship between Nan Xian and her. But Mu Qingyin clearly did not know anything about that. That was proof that he was totally different from Mu Ling. Feng Ruqing realized that Mu Qingyin was staring at her bracelet all the time. She kept quiet for a while before explaining to him, "Sui gave it to me." It was indeed the truth. Sui had given it to Feng Ruqing at the Princess Manor. She had forced it onto Feng Ruqing at that time. Mu Qingyin wanted to hold on to Feng Ruqing's hand again. But he suddenly remembered what she had done just now. He retracted his hand. "Are you the one my elder brother had mentioned before?" The woman who is adored by my sister-in-law and Nan Xian." Feng Ruqing was silent. "It's fine if you want to talk about Nan Xian. But why did you have to bring Sui up?" It sounded like Feng Ruqing was the one who had seduced Sui. "Me for extra chapters. Do you know where Sui is?" Mu Qingyin continued his queries. In fact, Feng Ruqing hoped that Sui never returned to the Mu family. It was a place that had broken her heart before. "Do you want her back?" Hence, she kept quiet for a moment before answering Mu Qingyin. Mu Qingyin did not say anything. He did hope for her sister-in-law's return. But Chen Qingyan was there now. His elder brother was so stubborn. If she returned, she would only be heartbroken. That was why he did not take any actions these past few days, even though he had promised his father to go and look for Sui. Feng Ruqing smiled sarcastically. If Sui returns one day, it would never be for Mu Ling's sake. It's difficult for her to forget about the past. I'll never allow anybody to harm her again for the rest of her life. I understand. Mu Qingyin smiled softly. I won't force her to return to the Mu family. Feng Ruqing looked at Mu Qingyi's sickly face. After a short while, she said, "You seem to be weak. Are you sick?" "Yes, I had fetus poisoning. It's difficult to cure because I was poisoned when my mother was pregnant with me. It could be cured during the earlier period when he was poisoned. But nobody ever found out that his mother was poisoned back then. When he was born, his mother had died from the poison. That was when the others found out the truth. He was poisoned when he was still inside his mother's belly. That was the reason why his body was weak since he was young. Although he did not die from the poison was slowly and gradually damaging his body. Hence, he did not know how long more he had to live. Grandmaster Qian Kun had the same opinion too. If he was doing fine, he would be just like any healthy person. He would only appear weak. If his boat's health deteriorated, he would be dead any second even if he was fine before. That was also the reason why he did not get married. He was afraid that he would ruin an innocent girl's happiness. Young lady. Mu Qingyin did not want to dwell on the past. He laughed. I've never met you before. But, I trust my sister-in-law. Master's birthday is around the corner. If you want to come, we will welcome you with open arms. If you're unwilling to meet somebody, it's fine if you don't want to come and join us. Feng Ruqing recovered her senses. She smiled softly. Don't worry. I won't be going. Mu Qingyin was shocked. This young lady is indeed honest. I admire that. Even Mu Qingyin had started to like her. Surely, that feeling was just what any elder would feel toward younger people. It was just admiration and there were no mixed feelings. Mu Qingyin did not say anything more. He smiled a little and turned to leave. Master's birthday is coming soon. I wonder if my sister-in-law and Nan Xian will return to the Mu family. Since that young lady came to Tianshan Manor, they might come back soon. Tan Shuangshuang was upset. She never thought that Feng Ruqing would appear in Tianshan Manor and reveal about her past. She would surely be punished if Mu Ling heard about that even if she was pregnant. Suddenly, a person appeared in front of her and blocked her path. Tan Shuangshuang stopped walking. She raised her eyes and looked at the woman in front of her. She was a beauty indeed, but she appeared sickly. Her beauty was not oppressive, but it was rather a captivating sight. Unknowingly, Tan Shuangshuang saw her past self in this woman in front of her. Lady Shuang. Qin Feier smiled. I saw what happened just now. Me for extra chapters. Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression changed all of a sudden. Did she come to intentionally humiliate me? Lady Shuang, do you know young Lady Feng? Qin Feier smiled softly. Her voice was gentle and soft. Tan Shuangshuang's face darkened. What do you want, Lady Qin? Oh, I want to know more about her. Qin Feier lowered her eyes. My younger brother seems to adore her. I'm his elder sister. I need to take good care of him. Tan Shuangshuang was shocked. It seems that her younger brother is called Qin Chen. Feng Ruqing had brought back a young man before. He was called Qin Chen too. Are they the same person? Otherwise, what else could explain Feng Ruqing's presence here in Tianshan Manor? Are you talking about Feng Ruqing? Tan Shuangshuang lowered her eyes. She smiled. She's the princess of Luyun Kingdom. Luyun Kingdom. Qin Feier frowned. A small kingdom of the secular world. It's rumored that Chainer was brought back from a small kingdom by father. He even has a twin elder sister. Qin Feier remembered how close Qin Chen and Feng Ruqing were. She was shocked. Then, she shook her head and laughed. Chapter 861, Meeting Mu Qingyin for the first time. She had clearly been overthinking. Don't twin siblings look alike? But, Feng Ruqing and Qin Chen did not look like each other at all. So, Qin Chen adored her and they were not related to each other. Chainer did not have any other family except the Qin family. What about that young girl's character? Was she married before? Yes. Tan Shuangshuang laughed, coldly. She did have a husband before. His name is Lu Yuchen. He had always lingered around me. It was obvious that I never liked him. Feng Ruqing blamed it on me. She not only got my father fired but had also given me 200 beatings. That was the most humiliating experience in her entire life. She would never forget about it. She hated both Feng Ruqing and Lu Yuchen. Qin Feier was shocked. Feng Ruqing was married before. Qin Feier did not bother to verify what Tan Shuangshuang had just said. What was more important was that Feng Ruqing was someone else's wife before. If a woman could not be loyal to the man she loved, what right did she have to be married into the Qin family? Qin Feier pursed her lips tightly. She was paled. She did not know how to reveal the excruciating truth to Chainer. Chainer would be heartbroken. He was lied to by a woman in such a way. Moreover, you can go and investigate it in Luyun Kingdom. You'll find out that Feng Ruqing has hooked up with the state preceptor after she left Lu Yuchen. She had even captured handsome men and brought them back to the princess manor. Qin Feier's facial expression worsened. She was unwilling to show her feelings in front of Tan Shuangshuang. Thus, she forced a smile. Thank you for telling me these things. Goodbye. She turned and walked toward the Qin family. Her smile disappeared the minute she turned away. It was replaced with deep fury and pain. She was infuriated with Feng Ruqing for lying to Qin Chen. She was even grieved by the fact that her beloved younger brother was being lied to by a woman. Me for extra chapters. I'm prepared and willing to let her take good care of Chainer. We don't care about the identity and status of the person whom Chainer is going to marry. Qin Feier took a deep breath. She appeared to have made her decision. Chainer had a rather special position in the Qin family. His parents would never allow him to marry young ladies from wealthy families who enjoyed high status in life. Although Feng Ruqing was adored by Gui, her status in life was low and she was suited for Qin Chen. So, her father would never reject such a proposition. However, it would be a totally different circumstance if she was married before. It'll ruin the Qin family's reputation. Father will never agree to that. Lu Xia, what do you think? Feng Ruqing doesn't seem like a wild girl. Why doesn't she understand the importance of a woman's ethics and virtues? Qin Feier laughed bitterly. It's what a woman should do, being loyal to a man her entire life. She needs to remain alone even if her husband dies before her. Even if she's divorced, she should never seduce anybody anymore. She should keep to herself instead. She would never comment so much on a woman if the man involved was not her younger brother. Hence, she would never allow Chainer to marry a wild girl. Lu Xia sneered. Young lady, some women assume that every man must like them as they are beautiful. Luckily, she has never met young Master Nan Xian. If not, her target might be young Master Nan Xian instead of young Master Qin Chen. Qin Feier smiled and shook her head. No, Nan Xian is not that kind of man. I heard that a lot of women wanted to marry him. He was never bothered about them no matter how beautiful they were. Moreover, Nan Xian is a filial person. He would never be seduced if the young manor master of the Mu family does not agree to that. Nan Xian was different from any other man. He would never be seduced no matter how beautiful Feng Ruqing was. Otherwise, Qin Feier would never have fallen for him. Shaoqing. Luoli tilted her head and stared at Feng Ruqing in Tianshan manner. Is the young mistress of the Mu family not going to come back? Luoli had never met Sui. But, there were all kinds of rumors about her in Tianshan manor. She heard that the young mistress of the Mu family was deeply in love with the young manor master. How could she give it up so easily given the depth of her feeling for him? Luoli stopped talking for a while. She remained silent. If Little Fox wanted a concubine, Luoli would never allow him to do so even if she adored him deeply. She could never endure the sight of them being together. The young mistress of the Mu family might feel the same too. Feng Ruqing smiled softly and said, her name is Sui. She's not the young mistress of the Mu family. She's no longer related to the Mu family anymore. Luoli replied, obediently, oh, okay. Luoli, how's your grandmother doing? Feng Riching was unwilling to talk about the Mu family anymore. She changed the topic. Luo Li seemed delighted when she heard that. She's feeling better now after having the spirit herbal dishes. She will soon be cured. Xiao Qing, the time is late now. I need to get back and be with her. She's lonely being left at home. Luo Fei rarely stayed at home now. He might have received too great a shock from what happened between him and Qin Xiaoye. They did not even know what Luo Fei had done outside. Although there were a lot of maids in the Luo family, they could not be treated like family. It was incomparable to a family's company. Luo Li did not want her old grandmother to stay at home all by herself for a long time. Fine. Feng Riching smiled. Luo Li then bid Feng Riching goodbye. She turned and left. Feng Riching did not rush home after Luo Li left her. On the contrary, she turned and walked toward the chief manor. Old Lady Luo was getting healthier now. She was sunbathing at the moment. She saw Luo Li from afar looking just like a butterfly. A soft and gentle smile soon crept up upon her wrinkled face. Grandmother. Luo Li smiled and threw herself into Old Lady Luo's arms. I'm back. Old Lady Luo patted Luo Li's head gently. Did you go and meet young Lady Xiao Qing? Why didn't you ask her to come here given that your father is not at home? We're the only ones here, me for extra chapters. Luo Fei deeply regretted what he had done. He regretted being unable to recognize the wickedness in people. He had almost harmed the entire Luo family. But, Old Lady Luo and Luo Li would not forgive him so easily even if he regretted what he had done. They labeled him as a bastard and an idiot in their hearts. Grandmother, I learned today that Xiao Qing does not come from Tianshan Manor. She comes from a place called Luyun Kingdom. Old Lady Luo's fingers trembled. What did you say? I said that Xiao Qing does not belong to Tianshan Manor. I heard from the concubine of the Mu family. Feng Riching is a princess of Luyun Kingdom. Grandmother, what kind of place is that? If Xiao Qing leaves Tianshan Manor one day, I still can go and look for her there. Luo Li seemed dazzled. She had been to Paramount but there were numerous franchises on the entire mainland. The one in Luyun Kingdom was not the only one in the world. Hence, Luo Li naturally did not know where Luyun Kingdom. Grandmother. Luo Li did not receive any reply from Old Lady Luo for a long while. She did not understand what was wrong. Then, she raised her head and was shocked. What's wrong with grandmother? Chapter 863. See, Old Lady Luo's wrinkles were trembling and her eyes were brighter than ever. She was so excited to the point where it seemed like she would cry the very next moment. Luo Li touched her head. Grandmother, what's the matter with you? Old Lady Luo closed her eyes. Her emotions were a little out of control and her heart was beating extremely fast. The Emperor of Luyun Kingdom. Was she the daughter of the Emperor of Luyun Kingdom? Old Lady Luo opened her eyes after a while. Her voice was shaking. Did you say that Xiao Qing is the princess of Luyun Kingdom? Liar, tell me, is this true? Luo Li tilted her head. It was the concubine of the Mu family who has said that. Xiao Qing did not deny it. It is probably true. Old Lady Luo's lips trembled, but she could not speak. Her tears flowed down her old wrinkled face and instantly covered her face. Tianya. Your son is already married and has children. Your granddaughter has grown so big. She is as excellent as you. Grandmother. Luo Li panicked. Is there any relationship between Luyun Kingdom and the Luo family? Old Lady Luo smiled. Ever since her father began to confront her for Qin Xiaoye's sake, she had never been as happy as she was now. However, Luo Li clearly felt that her grandmother was really happy this time. Lawyer, Lady Xiao Qing is a good person. Remember, you have to stand by her side no matter what happens. Why? Luo Li was even more puzzled. Although her grandmother liked Xiao Qing, she had never been so decisive before. Hence, she concluded that there must be something that she did not know. Why? Old Lady Luo's gaze was dazed. This was because the Luo family owed it to Tianya. If her late husband had not gone to help Tianya himself, he would not have fallen into the trap only to be used to threaten Tianya. How could Tianya, who was so affectionate, ignore her late husband? Therefore, the Luo family was bound to owe Tianya. Me for extra chapters. Girl, there is something that you don't need to know. Old Lady Luo said, otherwise, it's not good for you and also Xiao Qing. Why did Tianya not use his real name? He knew that he had offended many in order to protect the people. If the people knew that she was Tianya's granddaughter, some people might take action against her since she was a part of the royal family of Luyun Kingdom. Luo Li's heart trembled. She seemed to notice something and clenched her fists. Does someone want to attack Xiao Qing? Old Lady Luo was silent. Luo Li continued to ask, since Xiao Qing is the princess of Luyun Kingdom, that means she is from the secular world. Aren't there certain rules in that world? Will they dare to attack her? Old Lady Luo shook her head. She has already come to the reclusive world. If Feng Riching was really related to Nan Xian of the Mu family, then she could not be considered as someone of the reclusive world. In the secular world, the rule would no longer be effective if that person was in the reclusive world. Tianya had had too many enemies. There were certain things that she did not even dare to tell her granddaughter. She was afraid that she would bring disaster to Tianya's family. But Xiao Qing and Gui have such a good relationship. Who would dare to hurt her with Tianshan Manor is protecting her? Luo Li lifted her stubborn face. Old Lady Luo laughed helplessly. This little girl was really as naive as ever. Little girl, do you know that no matter how the Mu family acts, the manor master would not meddle with it? Why? Because Grandmaster Hai Rong is not the same as Grandmaster Qian Kuan. Grandmaster Qian Kuan has an in-depth understanding of medical knowledge, but he is rather poor in terms of strength. However, Grandmaster Hai Rong has very great strength. Old Lady Luo caressed Luo Li's head. So, even if the old master of the Mu family was seriously ill, the manor master will at most only cause some troubles to the Mu family. He will not really punish them. It was impossible for Grandmaster Hai Rong to damage the reputation of the Mu family due to his temperament. But he would also not avenge the Mu family. Mu Ling also understood this very well. That was why he was so desperate to form an alliance with the manor master through Nan Xian's marriage. What he wanted was power, not to protect the Mu family. Grandmaster Hai Rong could not give him what he wanted. It was also because of this that the manor master had to cancel the marriage and refuse to let the Mu family visit his manor. Nonetheless, he would still not hurt the Mu family. If their lives were in danger, Grandmaster Hai Rong would certainly help them. Let me give you a simple example. Everyone in the reclusive world knows Tianya. They know that he has no other stronger forces supporting him. He has always been fighting alone. Old Lady Luo smiled bitterly. Tianshan Manor, Deity's Gate, and the Divine Herbs sect are the three largest forces on the mainland. They are so famous all over the world because of their strong power. However, there are some strong men who don't really care about that. They don't want to build any forces. There are still many strong men who would rather fight alone like Tianya. Some people thought that building a force would slow down their cultivation. Therefore, they would always find a quiet place to cultivate. There were too many such powerful men on the mainland. they did not show themselves to the world. Thus, no one knew their names, which had led to the idea that the three major forces were the strongest in the world. Luo Li finally understood. If someone wanted to hurt Xiaoqing, even the Manor Master might not be able to protect her. Furthermore, there are still many places that you don't know about in this world. Old Lady Luo's expression grew more helpless. The place that Tianya has gone to still can't be reached by anyone to this day. It is said that whoever goes inside the place would basically never return. Me for extra chapters. At that time, someone has used a secret method to forcibly retain a soul and step into that world. Many years later, that person's soul token was broken. Hence, everyone knew that he has died in that world. However, that person has only left a sentence to that soul that remained. He told all his disciples to not enter that world. That is their clan's rule. Anyone who broke the rule would be kicked out. No one knows what that world looks like. But if it was not too dangerous, why would that person say this? Liar, this world is too big. We can only reach certain places in this world. The strong men that you think is strong might not be really strong men. Luo Li remained silent. She listened to old Lady Luo's words quietly. If it was not for her grandmother's words, she really would have continued to think that the three major forces were the strongest in the world. She thought the Manor Master Gu Shi could really protect Xiaoqing. It was only now that she knows how naive she was. Grandmother, I understand now. Luo Li raised her small head. Her eyes glowed. This world is so big and there are many strong people. I will also work hard to cultivate and strive to catch up with my little fox in the future. The old lady who was initially amazed by Luo Li was bewildered after she heard Luo Li's words. Liar, do you really want to marry a fox? Yes, the little fox is nice to me. Actually, I think Qin Chen of the Qin family is quite good, really, old Lady Luo persuaded. Luo Li pouted. He is too cold. He is not warm enough. I don't like him. Then, what about Mu Qingyin? He is also not bad. No, he's too old. I'm still very young. Moreover, he is too mysterious and he is like the kind of person who can't be reached like the moon. I don't want to just look at a person from far away all my life. Besides, I'm not Qin Feier. I will not be stubborn and still like the person whom I know I have no future with. Old Lady Luo sighed. Then when will you bring that little fox to see me? Luo Li's eyes brightened. She smiled. Well, I will bring him back after he transforms into a human. By the way, did Qin Xiaoye really want to hurt Gu Yi just because of some quarrels? And also, how did you find your father's spirit herb? Old Lady Luo smiled. It was Qin Chen who told me that Qin Xiaoye has exchanged the spirit herb. But he told me not to go too early. Otherwise, Xiaoqing will not be able to see a good show. Hence, I was already waiting outside with the spirit herb for quite a while. Luo Li was speechless. Oh, so Qin Chen was this kind of person. As for the spirit herb, it was Qin Li who had asked Qin Xiaoye to change it. Qin Li. Luo Li was shocked. Does the Manor Master know about it? The Manor Master is not a fool. He can see through it easily. Was it necessary to poison Gu Yi due to some quarrels? Only a fool would believe this. The Manor Master loves Gu Yi so much. Why did he let the Qin family go? Luo Li was puzzled. Old Lady Luo sneered. The Manor Master only pretends to let the Qin family go for now. But who knows what will happen in the future? Liar, although the Manor Master did not gain his position rightfully, Gu Yi will still be the successor of the Manor Master. So, he can't take action toward the Qin family since there is no proof. However, the manor master is a ruthless person and also a lunatic. If he was not ruthless, he would not have killed the former manor master. Me for extra chapters. As long as there is a chance, he will definitely take revenge on the Qin family. He is a vengeful person. If he can't destroy the Qin family now, the Qin family will also not live well in the future. The manor master was the strongest in Tianshan Manor. Although Luoli did not know who was stronger, the manor master or grandmaster Hai Rong. But still, the manor master had strong power and was far more superior than anyone. Qin Li wanted to make the manor master crazy so that he had a chance to attack him. Unfortunately, things did not happen as he had wished. He could not take away the manor master position. I understand, grandmother, Luoli said with a smile on her face. The Qin family will not exist for too long. Everyone knew that the manor master cared most about Guiyi. However, those people still dared to attack his daughter in order to defeat him. The Qin family would not be living a good life since they had enraged this lunatic. Dogs are really tender and cute. But if one really dared to hurt her cubs, even the most docile dog would bite and attack him. Besides, Gu Shi was not a docile dog, he was an irritable and fierce Tibetan Mastiff. One Luoli could not help but sigh again. She envied that Guiyi had a father that would always protect her and stand by, unlike hers. Her heart was cold. Chapter 866, The Woman Who Stayed at the Back Hill Near the Chief Manor V in the Chief Manor. Gu Shi narrowed his eyes and scanned the girl standing in front of him. You want to go to the back hill? Feng Ruqing slightly nodded. Yes. At that moment, Gu Shi was so scared that his heart was about to stop beating. But he pretended to be indifferent. Did Feng Ruqing know that a woman was imprisoned by him in the back hill? Did Feng Ruqing come to expose his secret? What to do? If his secret was exposed, his reputation that he had built his whole life would completely be damaged. Ahem. Gu Shi cleared his throat. He was embarrassed. Lady Xiaoqing, there is really nothing in the back hill behind my manor. I am not lying to you. There is really nothing there. The more he explained, the more he felt guilty. Guiyi was suspicious. Father, are you really hiding a woman in the back hill? Otherwise, why is the back hill a forbidden area? I haven't been there in the past few years. Are you really hiding a woman there? She really had not been to the back hill. Furthermore, she did not have much interest in the back hill. But now that Feng Ruqing had mentioned it, she, too, wanted to follow along. Too bad that her father was petty and did not allow anyone to enter the back hill. Was he really hiding a woman? If Gu Shi did not know that Guiyi was just making random guesses, he might have thought that she had found out his secret. His heart trembled after hearing what she had said. You know that this is a rule that has been passed down from the former manor masters. How could I not follow the rule when I am the manor master of Tianshan Manor? Guiyi did not really care about it. You are not the kind of person that would follow the rules. When you first served as the manor master, you took out the grave of the former manor master. I don't believe that you would follow Tianshan Manor's rules. It was ridiculous. Her father was not someone who would obey the rules. Gu Shi was speechless. Little devil, is it really good to expose me like this in front of others? I still had to protect my reputation. It's not that I'm petty. I don't allow people to enter the back hill because there is really nothing there. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Xiaoqing and I just want to go to see the scenery. Guiyi smiled. Father, even if you disagree, I will still bring Xiaoqing there, unless you lock me up. Lock her up? How could he do it? Me for extra chapters. Let's talk about it. Gu picked up a white jade token and played with it before Gu Shi could finish his words. Father, whose grave have you robbed this time? Who has left this white jade token here? I can see spiritual chi flowing inside this white jade token. The person who can seal the spiritual chi within this token is strong. The sound of the token falling to the ground is also very pleasant. Gu Shi was speechless. Gu Shi's face was pale. He was about to cry. Little devil, don't be impetuous. The sound is not pleasant. Please put it down. Crack. Gu smashed the white jade token onto the ground. It was broken into pieces. The sound as crisp as a bell made Gu feel better. Then she took another jade bottle from the shelf next to her. Her father did not have many hobbies. The only thing he liked was these pieces. She also did not have many hobbies. The only thing she liked was the smashing sound of these pieces. Gu Shi really wanted to cry. You have already smashed so many things in the past. This is another batch that I have managed to get recently. Little devil, please don't do this to me. I'll take you to the back hill now. What was saving face? He did not know anything about it. He just wanted to protect these jade pieces. Those were all his babies. If he absorbed all the spiritual chi from within these jade pieces, he could further improve his strength. But his daughter had already smashed another one again before he could use it. 1 inch good. Gu put down the jade bottle and turned to Feng Ruching with a smile. She was waiting for Feng Ruching to praise her. Gu Shi was even more heartbroken. Her daughter was helping other people rather than him. Feng Ruching caressed Gui's head. Which spirit herb do you want? Gu Shi, who was still upset, lightened up after he heard Feng Ruching's words. He hurriedly looked at Feng Ruching and his breathing was fast. But Gui shook her head and refused. I didn't help you because of the spirit herb. I don't want it. Gu Shi wanted to help Gui answer Feng Ruching's question. Nonetheless, he did not dare to say anything. He could only stare at Feng Ruching. Feng Ruching remained silent for a while. I have a spirit herb with me. Only those lower than Dark Warrior tier could use it. It can help speed up the cultivation speed. It will not have much effect on those who have achieved Dark Warrior tier. You are still not strong enough, so you should just keep it first. Wait until you have achieved Spirit Warrior tier. Gu Shi's heart trembled. He gazed at Feng Ruching with a complicated feeling in his heart. He knew what Feng Ruching meant. Although she was talking to Gui, the spirit herb was mainly prepared for the chief manor. What did the chief manor have the most? Members of Spirit Warrior tier. Those who have achieved Spirit Warrior tier were definitely strong. But for Gu Shi's case, there were too many of them in the chief manor. What if all of them got to achieve Dark Warrior tier? By increasing the cultivation speed 10 times faster than usual, what would happen to the chief manor? There would no longer be any Spirit Warrior tier in the chief manor in 1 or 2 years. Okay. Gu smiled and accepted it. She would treasure anything that Xiao Qing gave to her for the rest of her life. No one could snatch it from her. Me for extra chapters. The back hill was a forbidden area in Tianshan Manor. Gu Shi himself also did not know the reason why it was a forbidden area. He just continued enforcing that rule because he did not want people to see the woman in the back hill. Gu Shi was willing to take Feng Ruching to the back hill because he thought that Feng Ruching was just taking a stroll there. He believed that she would not find the woman he was hiding so coincidentally. However, he started to panic a few minutes after they were in the area. It was because Feng Ruching was walking in the direction where he had hidden the woman. He wanted to stop them, but he had no reason in doing so. Father, why is there a dungeon in this back hill? Gu Yi realized that something was not right. He looked back at Gu Shi. You have not really imprisoned any woman, right? Or have you? Gu Shi's face grew dark. Did his daughter girl really think that he was such a bad person like the former manor master? Furthermore, with his handsome face and strength, many women were waiting in line to meet him. He did not have to do that. But Gu Shi could not say anything when he thought of the woman who was reluctant to leave the dungeon. Gu Shi said with a smile on his face. There is nothing to see here. They'll take you to see the scenery. There is also a hot spring in the other direction. It's quite good. What about, under normal circumstances, Gu Yi would not have wanted to go visit a dungeon. However, since Gu Shi kept urging them to leave, he had piqued Gu Yi's curiosity. She wanted to know who was actually locked in the dungeon. Xiao Qing, my father must have taken a lady back to the manor and locked her in there. Let's go and take a look. The more Gu Shi urged them to leave, the more curious Gu Yi got. She insisted on going into the dungeon. Gu Shi simply could not stop her. Gu Yi kicked open the dungeon door. In a dark corner, a lady with her face covered by her hair could be seen crouching on the ground, ragged and dirty. Gu Shi's heart skipped a beat. The color drained from his face. His image was completely ruined. In fact, Gu Yi knew that Gu Shi would never take a lady back to the manor forcefully. It was just her casual remark. Now, seeing the poor lady crouching in the corner, Gu Yi turned her head stiffly. Father, did you really do this? What kind of a monster are you? There was no wonder that the back hill was a forbidden place. It turned out that someone was hiding his shameful affair. I didn't do anything to her. She is the one who refuses to leave. I am innocent. Do you believe me? Gu Shi's lips trembled. Father, do you think she is a fool? Why does she want to stay here and refuse to leave? Gu Shi wanted to say that Gu Yi was right. This lady was a fool. However, he could not say a word before his daughter. Feng Ruqing walked slowly toward the lady. Her fingers brushed the lattice hair gently. A face full of scars appeared before her eyes. It was extremely hideous. However, Feng Ruqing did not seem to feel disgusted. Qin Han led me to this place. Besides this lady, there is nothing else in the dungeon. Apparently, this lady is not the one who has called out to Qin Han. Feng Ruqing sank into contemplation. The lady raised her head, her face was full of anger. Seeing the lattice face, Gu Yi sucked in a breath of cold air. Simply no one knew how much struggles this lady had gone through. Now, if someone told Gu Yi that her father had taken this lady back into the manor by force as he could not stand the loneliness, Gu Yi would not even doubt it. However, her father would never disfigure the lattice face. Lost in thought, the lady stared dazedly at Feng Ruqing. Suddenly, the lady seemed to have felt that was something different. Her grubby hands quickly held on to Feng Ruqing's arms. Me for extra chapters. As this lady had not left the dungeon for a long time, her hands were covered with dirt, leaving fingerprints on Feng Ruqing's sleeves. Xiao Qing. Panicking, Gu Yi wanted to walk up to Feng Ruqing, but Feng Ruqing stopped her. Feng Ruqing was still calm and composed. She did not seem to feel the slightest bit disgusted. She lowered her eyes to stare at the lady before her. You want me to bring you out of here? The lady nodded desperately. Her eyes were not as gloomy as before and were now sparkling like stars. Did the people here scar your face? Feng Ruqing continued asking. The lady nodded. Her eyes were filled with resentment. Seeing this, Feng Ruqing and Gu Yi turned to look at Gu Shi. I did not do this. It was the former manor master. I only know that she is here after taking over this chief manor. I asked her to leave, but she refused. I did not force her to stay here. Gu Shi's face was ghastly pale. Feng Ruqing tilted her head and looked at the poor lady. You must take a bath and change your clothes before leaving together with me. I will take you out of here after that. Although Feng Ruqing was very gentle with ladies, she was not an extremely kind person. However, when she saw this poor lady, her heart melted. She did not know why she wanted to take this lady out of the dungeon. The lady held on to Feng Ruqing's arm tightly and did not let go of her. A look of resolute determination settled down upon the lattice face. Let go of my arm. I won't leave you behind. Feng Ruqing sighed. Startled, the lady stared at Feng Ruqing, as if contemplating whether she could trust Feng Ruqing. In the end, the lady did not loosen her grip on Feng Ruqing's arm. She did not trust Feng Ruqing. Am I not trustworthy? Feng Ruqing could see the doubt in the lattice eyes. She turned her head around to look at Guiyi. Guiyi nodded after pondering for a while. After all, Feng Ruqing was not someone who would keep her promise. As long as Nan Xian is still around, no one would believe in the things that you said. Feng Ruqing would leave everyone behind and run off with Nan Xian if he wanted Feng Ruqing to do so. Naturally, no one believed in her. Feng Ruqing raised her brows. She had never thought that she was an unreliable person in Guiyi's heart. Feng Ruqing turned her head sideways, her gaze fell upon the lady. How long do you want to hold my arm? The lady pondered for a while. She shook her head, her hands were still holding onto Feng Ruqing's arm. Go and take a bath. I'll wait for you outside. I can't go in together with you. Although we are ladies, how could you take a bath without letting go of my arm? Feng Ruqing was right. The lady bit her lip and let go of Feng Ruqing's arm. Manor Master, could you please get some servants to freshen her up and then bring her back to me? All right. Gu Shi breathed a sigh of relief. He could finally send this lady away. Me for extra chapters. However, Gu Shi had no idea why this lady refused to leave this dungeon previously but wanted to leave now when she had seen Feng Ruqing. The lady could not talk. Hence, Gu Shi would never get the answer. Everyone looked suspiciously at Gu Shi when he brought the lady down the hill. Simply no one knew why Gu Shi brought a badly disfigured lady back from the hill. Seeing many disdainful gazes pouring upon her, the lady hid behind Feng Ruqing. Her grubby hand held tightly onto the corner of Feng Ruqing's sleeve, her eyes were full of anxiety. The lattice reaction was natural as she had not seen any light for years. Not to mention, now, many people were staring at her. If Feng Ruqing was not by the lattice side, the lady would have rushed back to the hill. Gu Shi tasked a servant to freshen up the lady and got Guiyi to take Feng Ruqing around the chief manor. Manor Master, do you know why the back hill of Tianshan Manor became a forbidden place? Seeing that Gu Shi was about to leave, Feng Ruqing asked after pondering for a while. Qing Han told Feng Ruqing that the lady in the dungeon was not the one who called out to Qing Han. In other words, there was something in the back hill that Feng Ruqing knew nothing about. I have no idea. Gu Shi frowned. I killed the former manor master too soon and did not manage to ask him about this. The dumb lady just now has nothing to do with me. She is here because of the former manor master. I asked her to leave but she insisted on staying at the back hill. Gu Shi's voice was full of grievances. I was afraid that the people out there would think that I have kidnapped her. Hence, I continued making the back hill a forbidden area. Usually, the guards would guard the foot of the back hill and no one is allowed to step into it without my company. Fortunately, the lady has left the place. I can finally lift the ban. No, the back hill should remain forbidden and make sure to keep everyone out. Feng Ruqing shook her head. Why? I don't know. I always think there is something that we don't know about on the back hill. The back hill was part of the chief manor. If there was something there, Gu Shi would definitely know it sooner or later. However, Feng Ruqing did not explain further and left Gu Shi guessing. Sure enough, Feng Ruqing's words had left Gu Shi pondering. He was still lost in thought when he left. There must be a reason why all the former manor masters had made the back hill a forbidden place, a reason that Gu Shi did not know of. What could that be? Under the setting sun, Feng Ruqing leaned lazily against the pavilion. Her eyes were fixed on the lady who was walking toward her with a servant. The lady had a fine figure, her hair was long and straight like a waterfall. Now, she looked refreshing. However, her scar-covered face made her look horrifying. Initially, the lady seemed unsettled. However, when she saw Feng Ruqing, she quickly calmed down. Fortunately, she is still here. What's your name? Feng Ruqing asked, as the corner of her lips lifted. The lady pursed her lips together, her eyes lit up as she stared at Feng Ruqing. You can't speak. Can I call you Xiaoyuan? Feng Ruqing smiled sweetly. The lattice black eyes shone even brighter as she nodded hastily. Are you sure you want to leave with me? Feng Ruqing got up slowly and walked toward Xiaoya. A look of resolute determination settled in Xiaoya's eyes. Me for extra chapters. I will heal your wounds. You will stay by my side from now on. Feng Ruqing paused. Not only was the lattice face disfigured, but her cultivation was also crippled. Even so, Feng Ruqing could tell the lady lacked talent. However, it did not matter. Feng Ruqing did not need someone with great talent. What she wanted was someone with strong perseverance. Xiaoya merely smiled. As the lattice face was badly disfigured, her smile was not pleasant to the eyes. However, Feng Ruqing did not expect the lattice smile to be so dazzling under the setting sun. Let's go, I will heal your wounds and restore your crippled meridians. All you need to do is work hard to improve your cultivation. Feng Ruqing looked hard at Xiaoya. Don't you ever forget this. You don't need to be a great talent, but you must work hard to improve your strength. No one in this world is born to be good for nothing. If you have no talent, you must work harder than those highly gifted people and surpass them. Xiaoya stared dazedly at Feng Ruqing. Back then, when she wanted to recruit disciples, many ladies in this realm had gone against each other in order to be her disciples so the people in their clan would be protected for the rest of their lives. She was like a god in everyone's mind. This lady thought so too. The lady wanted to be Feng Ruqing's disciple, and even Xiaoya's lack of talent could never stop her from taking the risk. The lady was the most insignificant one among the many talents. She was bullied, but it was the god in her mind who had brought her out of the crowd. She would never forget the things that Feng Ruqing had said. There is neither genius nor fool in this realm. I don't need an arrogant genius. What I truly need is someone who is willing to work hard at cultivation. The lady had followed what she said. She had trodden the path of a warrior and worked harder than everyone else. Currently, she was still telling the lady the same thing. There would be something remaining the way they were no matter how many years had passed. Follow me. Feng Ruqing looked away, walked down the stairs, and strode toward the setting sun. Xiaoya quickly rushed after Feng Ruqing and stared in awe at Feng Ruqing. The lattice eyes were sparkling brighter than the dazzling stars. It's great. God is back, the noble lady is back. Qing Han, are you sure you don't know this lady? Feng Ruqing could feel that someone was watching her from behind. She knitted her brows together as she asked. She is not the one who has called out to me. I really don't know her. Qin Han hesitated for a while, shook her head and answered telepathically. But I could feel that she knows me, just like Big Grey Doggy. The lattice gaze was so sharp and felt like it was burning into Feng Rooking's back. In the medium, Qin Han bit her finger and tilted her head to look at Fu Qin, who was still sleeping. Fu Qin told Qin Han that Feng Ruqing might be the 9th emperor. However, Qin Gan grew up in the herbal garden. She had no idea who was the 9th emperor's acquaintances. Only years after the 9th emperor went missing, both Qin Han and Fu Qin left the herbal garden. Mother, I have no idea. Perhaps Big Black would know. It's Big Grey Doggy, not Big Black, Feng Ruqing said, solemnly, as her face darkened. All right, Mother, Qin Han answered, obediently. Brother Fu Qin said that we could never reason with a lady. Hence, whatever Mother said is right. Just as Feng Ruqing reached the manor, a familiar figure could be seen standing in the breeze with the help of a servant, waiting, quietly, for Feng Ruqing. Feng Ruqing walked past Qin Feier as if she did not see her. Young Lady Feng, I have something to talk to you about. Qin Feier's face darkened, she could not help calling out to Feng Ruqing. Me for extra chapters. I am not close to you. Feng Ruqing's hand that was going to open the door, stopped mid-air as her back was still facing Qin Feier. In other words, Feng Ruqing was not close with Qin Feier. Hence, they had nothing to talk about. Don't get sassy with young Lady Qin. The servant snarled. Lu Xia, wait for me at the side. I have something to discuss with this young lady about. Just as the servant was about to burst with anger, Qin Feier shot her a cold glare as she shouted. But... Young Lady Qin, Lu Xia protested. Qin Feier's face was getting paler. Lu Xia had gone too far recently. She might have put the Qin family into trouble if she continued behaving like this. I am your master. Just do what I told you. Lu Xia stared peevishly at the Feng Ruqing, her eyes flickered. She did not stand aside but left the spot to look for someone else in the Qin family. Young Lady Qin is kind but this young lady is too vicious. She might hurt young Lady Qin. I must inform Lady Qin. No one could hurt young Lady Qin. The sun was setting. Feng Ruqing tilted her head slightly as she stared calmly at Qin Feier. What do you want to talk to me about? Young Lady Feng, I heard the things that you have said to Tan Shuangshuang. How much do you need to leave Chainer alone? The Qin family could pay you either money or spirit herbs. Qin Feier smiled faintly. I see. Feng Ruqing was still calm and composed. Her voice was soft and gentle. Qin Feier heaved a sigh. It seemed that no one in this world could resist the temptation of money and spirit herbs. Feng Ruqing was no exception. Qin Feier could not help feeling sad, thinking about how Qin Chen had actually fallen for such an awful yet powerful lady. Young Lady Feng, I hope you could keep your words and never look for Chainer again. Chainer is my brother. I could never turn my back on him. You are so stunning. I am sure you can get a great young master besides Chainer. Stop hounding Chainer. Lady Feng, Qin Feier heaved a soft sigh. Suddenly, Qin Feier stopped talking. Qin Feier was standing on the stairs now. A gust of ferocious wind blew like a huge arm pushing Qin Feier, sending her rolling down the stairs. As Qin Feier had poor health, she coughed violently. Her face was ghastly pale. Feier! A sharp voice sounded not far away. Feng Ruqing had bought the manor not far away from the Qin family for convenience's sake. Hence, not long after Lu Xia had left the spot, she had brought Lady Qin, when you hear. Seeing Qin Feier lying on the ground and unable to get up. A fiery rage like fire swept over Wen Yu. Ever since she had given birth to Qin Fei, she could never get pregnant again. That was not all the concubines of the Qin family were not capable of getting pregnant for years. Hence, Qin Fei was Wen Ye's only daughter. She was Wen Ye's life. Oh, my dear. Wen Yu quickly rushed up to Qin Fei and helped her to get up. Then, when Yu turned to look at Feng Ruqing, her eyes reddened with fury. You slut! How dare you lay a hand on Fei? This time, you must pay for the things that you have done, even if the manor master stands by you, me for extra chapters. Mother! Qin Fei held onto Wen Ye's arm, signaling her to stop talking. Then, Qin Fei turned to look at Feng Ruqing. Young Lady Feng, the thing that I have done just now, I have done for both Chainer and you. If you agree to leave Chainer, I would never blame you for the things that you have done. If you refuse, I will tell Chainer all the things that you have done and it might ruin your reputation. Qin Fei had been holding the grievance for a long time because of Qin Qin. She would never blame Feng Ruqing even if Feng Ruqing laid a hand on her. However, if Feng Ruqing wanted to marry Qin Qin because of the Qin family's strong foothold, Qin Fei simply could not do anything to Feng Ruqing. She could only tell Qin Qin everything that Feng Ruqing had done. Fei! Burning with rage, Wen Yu shouted. Even now, Qin Fei still wanted to defend Feng Ruqing. Qin Fei was way too kind. Mother, I am all right. Don't worry about me. Could you take it as a favor I'm doing to Chainer? Chainer is part of our family. I don't want him to get hurt. Qin Fei chuckled. Qin Fei had always been having a mind of her own. Wen Yu could not do anything to Feng Ruqing. She could only stare at Feng Ruqing with her eyes filled with viciousness. Young Lady Feng, what's your decision? The smile faded from Qin Fei's face. With Wen Ye's help, she slowly walked toward the stairs. Feng Ruqing looked at the stairs that Qin Fei had stepped on subconsciously. Seeing Feng Ruqing's reaction, Qin Fei panicked. She could not help pause. Oh. Feng Ruqing raised her brow and chuckled. I thought you already know my answer from the things that I have done just now. It turns out that the manor lady of the Qin family is such a fool. Startled, color drained from Qin Fei's face. She pursed her lip together. As if being humiliated, her face darkened dramatically. Can't you let go of Chainer? Do you truly want to get into the Qin's family? Initially, Qin Fei had intended to give in. As long as Qin Qin was happy, he could just marry this lady. However, Feng Ruqing had no self-respect for herself and did not care about her own reputation. How could Qin Fei let her own brother dig himself into a hole? She must stop him before he lost his mind. The Qin family had a lofty status in Tianshan Manor. Currently, many people were surrounding the manor not far away from the Qin family, wondering what Lady Wen Yu, with a bunch of people in tow, had done to a young lady. Boom! At this time, a loud bang sounded. Countless vines grew out of the ground like an octopus and lifted Qin Fei high up in the air before throwing her out. In a flash, the manor's tranquility was restored. Wen Yu flew into a great panic. She had never thought that someone would dare to hurt her daughter before her. This time, even if Qin Fei stopped her, she would never let go of Feng Ruqing. Take her down now. Burning with anger, Wen Yu lost her composure. The fire burning in her eyes was so hot it could burn a human alive. Stumbling around, Qin Fei coughed lightly and spat out a mouthful of blood. She looked extremely pathetic and that made everyone's heart ache. Simply no one cared about who was at fault and why Feng Ruqing had done this to Qin Fei. In general, people were more sympathetic toward the weak. This young lady is so fierce at such a tender age. Who could handle her in the future? I think this fierce young lady might never get married in her whole life. I heard from the young lady Qin that this young lady is hounding young Master Qin, me for extra chapters. Young lady Qin is right. Who wants her own brother to marry such a fierce young lady? This young lady would put the whole Qin family into trouble. Under the setting sun, the street was abuzz with disdainful chatters. It was particularly ear-piercing. The corner of Feng Ruqing's lips lifted subconsciously. Her calm gaze swept past everyone surrounding her. Standing upright, she felt as if she was the only person in this world fighting against everyone on her own. You truly have no idea why I have done this to you. Fearless, Feng Ruqing smiled. You have ruined my reputation. What I have done is just the same as when you asked Luoli to live with her grievance, to save reputation. Everyone on the spot sank into silence. Although not many people in Tianshan Manor could attend the feast at the chief manor, they had heard of Luoli's name. Qin Feier was so kind and gentle, like a saint with holy light emanating out of her, lightening up the whole world. Luoli, on the contrary, was a bratty demon who constantly stirred up trouble. Only the saints could control the demons. Perhaps, Qin Feier was the only one who was capable of handling Luoli. It was right that everything that Qin Feier had done was for the peace and tranquility of Tianshan Manor. Luoli would not be so well behaved and cordial without Qin Feier. As the saying goes, if you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. Those who achieve great things in life would never be so persnickety. How could a person who could not even control her own emotions command respect from the others? Once again, Qin Feier spat out a mouthful of blood as she got up from the ground. Her face was ghastly pale. Feier, she doesn't deserve your kindness. If you keep doing this, the people out there would condemn the Qin family. Although your father is as kind as you, he knows that one must not be kind to those who hurt you more than 3 times. This young lady has challenged the Qin family over and over again. Why should we tolerate her? Wen Ye's eyes were full of love mixed with fury. I did this because of Chainer. Qin Feier clenched her fists tightly. Qin Feier had tolerated Feng Ruqing because of Qin Chen. However, Feng Ruqing had crossed the line over and over again. Although Qin Feier was kind, she would lose her temper sometimes, too. Naturally, she would not tolerate Feng Ruqing if she kept hurting Qin Feier. Are you mad at me? It turns out that you would lose your temper sometimes, too. When Luoli was bullied, you told her to hold back and render good for evil. Now that I have just made you fall twice, you are actually mad at me. Feng Ruqing smiled. This young lady wants to avenge Luoli. Qin Feier was startled. Take her down. Wen Yu snarled. A glimmer of vicious light flashed through her eyes. Hastily, a few people of the Qin family unsheathed their swords and moved toward Feng Ruqing. Feng Ruqing merely smiled. She was still calm and very much at ease. However, a hint of viciousness hidden behind her smile seemed like a soul-devouring sword that was capable of swallowing a human alive. Suddenly, a soft voice sounded like a gust of cold wind, brushing past everyone's faces. Although it was a soft voice, it sent a chill down everyone's spine. I've only been away from Tianshan Manor for slightly more than 10 years. It turns out that the Qin family has helmed Tianshan Manor. Hearing this, Wen Ye's body subconsciously stiffened. The voice was unfamiliar to the people present, but not to Wen Yu. Stunned, Feng Ruqing's gaze followed the voice. In the light of the setting sun, a lady in a white robe walked slowly toward her. The lady was so ethereal and graceful, her eyes were calm and content. Only when the lady saw Feng Ruqing, the corner of her lips slightly lifted. The lady went up to Feng Ruqing slowly, her fingers brushed Feng Ruqing's hair gently. You have actually come to this place on your own. Qing'er, why you didn't leave us a message before leaving. The lady said softly. Me for extra chapters. I don't want both of you to come here. Feng Ruqing did not want Sui and Nan Xian to return to Tianshan Manor. Hence, she had come here alone. If we are not here now, we would never have known how much trouble you have gone through. Sui's calm gaze fell on Wen Yu as she smiled. Lady Qin, what do you want to do to my dear Qing'er? Flying into a great panic, Wen Yu stared at the lattice elegant face. Color drained from her face. Mother. Seeing Wen Ye's face, a hint of shock crept into Qin Feier's eyes. Who is this lady? Why does mother fear her? Young Lady Mu, it's been years since we met. You are still young and pretty. I hardly recognize you. I did not know that this young lady is related to you. Feier, let's go home. Wen Yu held on to Qin Feier's hand tightly as she forced a smile. Young Lady Mu, hearing Wen Ye's words, Qin Feier was stunned. There was only one young Lady Mu in Tianshan Manor, Nan Sui, who had left together with Nan Xian. The stunning lady was Nan Xian's mother. What was the relationship between Feng Ruqing and Nan Sui? Qin Feier panicked. What if Feng Ruqing was close to Nan Sui and she spoke ill of Qin Feier to Nan Sui? Ultimately, Nan Xian might dislike Qin Feier because of this. What could Qin Feier do? However, Qin Feier knew that as long as Feng Ruqing was here, Qin Feier could never clear her name. Let's go. Wen Yu clenched her teeth. She waved her hand to signal the guards to leave. Does Qin Yan know that Nan Sui is back? I must tell her now. Nan Sui must not return to the Mu family. Did I tell both of you to leave? Are you trying to leave after bullying Qing'er? Nan Sui's eyes were calm. What do you want to do? Wen Yu paused and turned her head around to look at Nan Sui. Get that young lady to kowtow and apologize to Qing'er. Sui glanced at Qin Feier with a faint smile on her face. Hearing this, Qin Feier's body stiffened like a statue. She turned to look at Nan Sui. Qin Feier would not give a hang if she heard the words from someone else. However, the words had come out of her future mother-in-law's mouth, Nan Sui. Qin Feier had irritated Nan Sui before marrying Nan Xian. Naturally, Sui would hate Qin Feier even more after she had stepped into the Mu family. Young Lady Mu, Feier was the one who got bullied just now. You are one of us. Why are you taking this young lad's side? Wen Yu clenched her fists tightly. No, I am just helping Qing'er to deal with the swine. Young Lady Mu, it seems that you have lost your good upbringing after leaving here for more than 10 years. I fed my good upbringing to the swine that looks like the one before my eyes. You, mother, stop talking. Qin Feier tugged at Wen Ye's sleeve as she shook her head. Then, she turned to look at Sui, calmly. Young Lady Mu, it is my fault indeed. I was such a fool to believe in the slanderous remark that young Lady Feng is hounding my brother. Moreover, young Lady Feng was dumped before. I was too worried about my brother. Let me apologize to her, me for extra chapters. Qin Feier lowered her head earnestly. A shadow of guilt darkened her eyes. However, I would never kowtow to her. I am the daughter of the Qin family. I have my own dignity. I can apologize to her, but I will never kowtow to anyone. I hope you could understand my situation. Qin Feier's well-rounded words reflected her sincerity. Any ordinary person could hardly fault it. However, Sui was no ordinary person. It seems that I am too old and worthless. I can't even protect Xiao Qing'er. I would get Nan Xian to settle all the scores when he is here, especially Qin Feier. She is so daring to mess with Qing'er. Sui held on to Feng Ruking's hand gently with a faint smile on her face. What will young Master Nan Xian think of me if he knows about this? Qin Feier's face was sickly and pale. Although Qin Feier did not do anything to Feng Ruqing, Nan Xian was a filial son. Naturally, he would listen to his mother. Qin Feier's eyes started filling up with tears of humiliation, but she did not let the tears stream down her face. Seeing this, Wen Yu was growing increasingly resentful. Her eyes were fixed on Sui and Feng Ruqing. All right. I will kowtow as young Lady Mu is an elder. The young one must always respect the elder. However, I will never kowtow to young Lady Feng. Qin Feier smiled pathetically. Qing'er, is Qin Feier your bosom friend? Sui looked sideways at Feng Ruqing. No. Feng Ruqing shook her head earnestly. Really? Nan Xian is so cold. He would never get close to any lady out there. Why did Qin Feier say that I am an elder? Perhaps I have been staying in the mountain for too long. I don't understand what she said. Qin Feier had always been weak. Hearing Sui's words, she had nearly lost her balance. Mother, let's go. Qin Feier took a deep breath. Qin Feier could kowtow to Sui. However, she would never kowtow and apologize to Feng Ruqing. Suddenly, a glimmer of vicious light flashed in Nan Sui's eyes. Just as Qin Feier was about to leave, Nan Sui grabbed Qin Feier's hair. Nan Sui gave her a kick and made her fall on her knees before Feng Ruqing. Qin Feier, do you think you could do as you wish just because the Mu family is backing you up? Do you think you can even step into the Mu family if you offend me? If you truly want to step into the Mu family, I would not stop you. However, you won't marry my son. Don't you dare bully Qing'er and I. I don't care what others think or say about me. Neither does Feng Ruqing. Sui's gaze was still calm and nonchalant, but her words were heart-piercing. In Luyun Kingdom, Feng Ruqing did take it all out on her enemies as Feng Tianyu was the emperor of Luyun Kingdom. He must win the people's hearts. Even so, Feng Ruqing did not let herself suffer any grievances. Now that Feng Ruqing was in Tianshan Manor, outside of her father's jurisdiction, things have taken a different meaning. Kneeling before Feng Ruqing, Qin Feier's pale face was covered with tears. She looked extremely pitiful. Although I cannot control the things in the Mu family, I have a say in my son's marriage. Anyone from the Qin family must never appear before Qing'er anymore. Qin Feier slumped to the ground in despair. Me for extra chapters. Feier. Panicking, Wen Yu rushed over to help Qin Feier got up. With a blank stare, Qin Feier watched Sui and Feng Ruqing leave. Her face was emotionless. She did not regain her composure even when the gate was slammed shut. Mother, I can never marry Nan Xian, can I? Feier, don't worry. What Sui has said is total nonsense. She cannot control Nan Xian's marriage. All you need to is keep Qingyan happy. Even if Nan Sui returns to the Mu family, Qingyan is at the wheel. Only Mu Ling and Qingyan can control Nan Xian's marriage. When you rubbed Qin Feier's shoulder, her heart was broken. Sui, who do you think you are? When you were the young lady of the Mu family back then, the old master had always backed you. Hence, everyone was afraid of you. Now that the old master is sick, he can no longer defend you. Currently, Mu Ling is the master of the Mu family. Nan Xian must marry the lady that Mu Ling has selected. How can a lady, Nan Sui, control her son's marriage? Mother. I didn't do anything to Feng Ruqing. Why would young Lady Mu take Feng Ruqing's side and treat me like this? What is their relationship? Why does young Lady Mu treat Feng Ruqing so well? When Yu frowned slightly. After a while, she slowly relaxed. I'll ask your father to go and investigate that woman. Don't worry too much. She's merely Sui's adopted daughter. She would never be her daughter-in-law. Really? Qin Feier seemed all hopeful now. Feier, I've been someone else's daughter-in-law before. A woman always labels her daughter-in-law as her enemy. I treated your grandmother nicely, but she was always dissatisfied with me. When Yu laughed coldly. If I had a son, I would hate the idea of a woman taking him away from me, too. So, it's normal that Sui dislikes you. She likes that young girl, and it proves that she has no relation with Nan Xian. Qin Feier was still nervous. She pursed her lips tightly. She looked pale. Moreover, it doesn't signify anything even if that young girl is close with the manor master now. It just means that Gui never had any friend, and now she adores that young girl because that young girl is willing to fawn on her. She's nothing when Gui dislikes her in the future. Do you think that Mu Ling would like a daughter-in-law like her? She's not even qualified to be a concubine. In fact, there were a lot of people who fawned on Gui because of her status and identity. But she had never had any friends because of her bad temper and her habit of hating every beautiful girl. Naturally, Gui liked Feng Ruqing because Feng Ruqing was the only one who did not leave her despite her bad temper. When Gui had more friends in the future, Feng Ruqing would surely become useless to her. She would cease being Feng Ruqing's friend and the Mu family would never accept her. Qin Feier slowly sighed in relief. She was never worried about Nan Xian because she thought that Nan Xian was the kind of man who would fall for beauty only. He would reject any woman who was stained and unvirtuous. What worried her was the fact that Sui adored Feng Ruqing. She was worried that Sui would force Nan Xian to marry Feng Ruqing given that she was his mother. Nan Xian might not be able to reject his mother's request. Mother, let's go home. Qin Feier's facial expression worsened when she saw the sympathetic looks the crowd threw at her. She was clearly the one being bullied here. They sympathized with her. But, all she felt was humiliation. Me for extra chapters. She had always been crowned a beauty in Tianshan Manor. Now, she was forced to kneel down and kowtow to somebody else for forgiveness. It was an unforgettable humiliation for her. In the living room of the Mu family, Hai Rong touched his mustache and smiled. Mu Ling, I've been here for quite some time now. I need to leave and think of another way to cure the old master's illness. But Qian Kun mentioned that he's going to introduce me to a talented young girl. I'll leave when I get to know her. He was unwilling to stay there any longer. Moreover, he wanted to return to the mountain so that he could calm his mind and think of the old master's illness. He came to the Mu family back then for the sake of identifying the old master's illness. He did not intend to stay for long. Mu Ling relaxed, but he did not show any emotion to him. Thank you for your help these days. It's his birthday soon. Grandmaster Hai Rong, aren't you going to stay? Hai Rong shook his head. That young girl has not returned. There is no point in me staying. He was talking about Sui. Mu Ling was completely relaxed. He did not want Hai Rong to stay for too long. If Sui returned to the Mu family and met Hai Rong, the lie he and Qing Yan had made up before would be revealed. Chapter 878. The Mu family came to visit too. Fortunately, Sui had not promised to come back with him. The old master's birthday was just around the corner. Hai Rong was going to leave after a few days. They would never meet each other. Grandmaster Hai Rong, my father's illness depends on you. I hope that it's not troublesome for you. Troublesome? Hai Rong laughed. I'm indebted to that young girl and am also Huaner's master. Treat the old master's illness is my responsibility. It is late now. I have some business with Qian Kun. I'll take my leave now. He smoothed his long sleeves when he finished talking. He got up from his seat. He stopped walking and turned around to ask Mu Ling something that he had suddenly thought of. By the way, I heard from the people of the Mu family that the old master dislikes Qin Yan. Is that true? Mu Ling's facial expression changed. He was infuriated. Just who on earth gossiped about that in front of Grandmaster Hai Rong? Grandmaster Hai Rong, there's nothing like that. The old master has been not quite himself recently. He is unable to think properly given that he's ill. Qin Yan is my mother's niece. Why would my father dislike her? Hai Rong was rather displeased with what Mu Ling said. Who would claim that one's father was unable to think straight? But it did not concern him much because it was another family's problem. He did not give much comment on that. Fine. I'm just telling you what I heard. One thing you need to remember. Old Master Mu Ling could not be provoked. If he dislikes Qin Yan, just ask her not to appear in front of him. If he is provoked, his illness might worsen. Mu Ling felt awkward. Qin Yan had treated his mother nicely. If his father's illness grew serious because of Qin Yan. In fact, I don't want to put my nose into other people's affairs. But I heard some rumors in the Mu family. Qin Yan claimed that the young girl is her elder sister. So, I need to give you some advice. What a bastardly thing you have done. Mu Ling, I have always thought that you're a responsible man when I first met you. You would never do what you have done by abandoning your wife and choosing your concubine over your wife. Mu Ling's lips trembled. Grandmaster Hai Rong, it's impossible that I will do that. I am always hoping that my wife would come back. It's her who is unwilling to, me for extra chapters. Grandmaster Hai Rong shook his head helplessly. He would never have gotten involved in the Mu family's affairs if Qingyang was not that young girl's sister. He had said that for that young girl's reputation. However, Hai Rong could not help but frown again when he remembered what he had heard at the Mu family. Qin Yan is your cousin. Her elder sister is your cousin too, isn't it? But, why have I never heard of her? Mu Ling was rather anxious now. He remained calm. She's a distant relative. She came to us because something had happened to her family. But, she's unwilling to trouble us, so she did not stay here. The people from the Mu family do not know about her. Initially, I had promised Qin Yan to take care of her, so I traveled the world with her. That was when we got to know you. Oh. Hai Rong learned of the bigger picture now. That's what has happened. I thought that she's Qinjian's younger sister. Since she's a distant relative and no one knows about her, it won't matter much. But, you should be careful. Your wife will always be your wife. A concubine is just a concubine and she could never be compared to your wife. Mu Ling lowered his head. I'll heed your advice and be more careful in the future. I'll not say much. Mu Ling, the old master is my patient now. I don't want anybody to provoke him and influence his health. If this condition continues, I'll never treat his illness again. Chapter 879. The Mu family came to visit 3. Grandmaster Hai Rong, I understand now. Mu Ling laughed bitterly and helplessly. Qin Yan had not been at the Mu family recently. Therefore, there was no one who could take good care of the old master. But the old master was stubborn. He did not understand that no one else would take such good care of him in this world. She did not even lament but simply continued to obediently take care of the old master. Although Sui treated the old master nicely too, the problem was the old master was the first one who had treated Sui nicely. If the case was turned around and it was Sui. If the old master scolded and hit Sui, she would never have taken good care of him like she always did. Only Qin Yan behaved like that. Her love for him was too deep and strong. She would endure all the pain for him. He could never repay her kindness in his lifetime. Young Manor Master. Suddenly, a voice was heard. Mu Ling raised his head and he soon saw an imperial guard approaching him swiftly. What happened? Mu Ling was annoyed. Did Tan Shuang create trouble again? The imperial guard trembled in fear. He was anxious. But, he still revealed what had happened in the streets to Mu Ling. Mu Ling's face darkened. He smashed his fist on the table. He was outraged. Tan Shuang. That goddamn woman. I told her that her past must not be revealed. I won't allow anyone to find out that she's unvirtuous. How dare Tan Shuang ignore his order? He would surely have beaten Tan Shuangshunnik to death if she was not pregnant. Go. Go and bring her here. Mu Ling was somber. He gave his order angrily. Yes. The Imperial Guard received his order obediently and retreated. Another Imperial Guard rushed to him again when the previous Imperial Guard left the room. He greeted Mu Ling, young Manor Master. Mu Ling took up the jade cup beside him, annoyed. He took a sip of the tea and looked at the Imperial Guard who was standing in front of him. He seemed cold and distant. Are you going to tell me that Tan Shuang has created trouble again? No, the Imperial Guard replied, respectfully. Young Manor Master, the young mistress is back, me for extra chapters. Mu Ling clenched his fists so tightly that he broke the teacup in his hand. He did not seem delighted at all. But, his face darkened. Who did you say is back? It's the young lady. Lady Qin from the Qin family has passed the message to us just now. She met the young lady just now. Mu Ling would surely have been delighted if Suyi had come back before this. But why is it happening now? Grandmaster Hai Rong will leave in a few days. I will never allow Suyi and Grandmaster Hai Rong to meet. Go and pass along my order. Ask Tan Shuang to kneel down in the ancestral hall. I need to go out for some business. Mu Ling recovered his senses and smoothed his long sleeves. Then, he walked out of the living room in big strides. At the pavilion in the garden, Feng Ruqing held Suyi's hand and sat down, slowly. Little Qinghan's big and bright eyes blinked. She curled up into a fetal position and rested on Feng Ruqing's legs. Qinger, it's been a while since we last met. Why do I feel that you're slimmer now? Suyi held Feng Ruqing's hands with much sadness. Did Nan Xian not take good care of you these days? You have come to Tianshan Manor on your own. You have not even brought along some maids to take care of you. Even if you don't bring them along, you could bring along some spirit beasts given that there is a whole load of them in your manor. Feng Ruqing was bewildered. She wanted to tell Suyi that Nan Xian was not around. But, Suyi was blaming Nan Xian again before Feng Ruqing could say anything. Where is Nan Xian? He told me that he's here. Where did he go? Feng Ruqing did not know how to respond to that. Suyi could locate her. Did Nan Xian tell her that? Did Nan Xian know that she was going to come to Tianshan Manor? Feng Ruqing's face darkened then. Oh, he might be fooling around with Qing Zhu right now. Suyi frowned. I can tell that Qing Zhu is not a nice snake. It has even kidnapped Nan Xian. Qinger, don't worry about it. I'll brew a snake soup when we meet them next time. It could be accompanied by phoenix soup. It can help to strengthen your body. Qing Zhu could not help but sneeze even though it was far away from Tianshan Manor. It stretched its head. It seemed dazzled. Did somebody just speak evil about me? It must be that charming snake. Master, are you sure that the charming snake would not pursue me all the way here? Nan Xian scanned Qing Zhu calmly. Qing Zhu soon shut its mouth and it did not say anything more. Soon, Nan Xian saw a young man standing on the surface of the water with a white phoenix. He appeared calm. Didn't a princess called Princess Water Snake like you before? If Qing Zhu were a cat, its fur would surely be standing on its end when it heard what Nan Xian had just said. But Qing Zhu was only a snake. It did not react like a cat. It just straightened its body and remained in a guarding position. Master, what do you want now? Qing Zhu's voice was filled with a plea. It was a snake who has its own pride and dignity. It would never trade its body for some kind of business. It would never go and seduce another snake. Yes. You go and seduce it. Let their people refuse to help it to find its way. Qing Zhu almost burst into tears. Master, although Princess Water Snake is charming, it's too ferocious. I'm scared. Nan Xian became quiet again. Master, why don't you do it yourself? Why? Qing Zhu's voice was trembling. You're able to do it yourself. Why do you want to sacrifice my dignity? I don't want to do that. Nan Xian remained calm. We need someone to be blamed if Qing'er knows about this, me for extra chapters. The underlying message was that Qing Zhu would be the scapegoat. If Feng Ruqing was angry with what they had done, he could blame it on Qing Zhu. Qing Zhu was shocked. It stared at Nan Xian helplessly. It could not even bring itself to cry. He was unwilling to allow his rival in love to go and meet the princess. So, he pushed the pitiful snake forward to prevent that from happening. The princess will surely kill me and brew a snake soup out of me. It's real. Yes. Nan Xian remained cold. Qing'er has always yearned for a snake soup. If that's the case, let her have the snake soup to strengthen her body. Qing Zhu soon exploded with anger. Its master was no longer the master he knew since he had met the princess. He had no limit now. Master, I was just joking. Really? Qing Zhu curled itself on Nan Xian's arm like an obedient dog. You're the most respected master I have ever had. I'll go to seduce the princess if you ask me to. I'll do whatever you want even if you asked me to seduce a worm. Nan Xian kept quiet and it appeared that he had fallen into deep thought. The look in his eyes scared Qing Zhu. Qing Zhu could not help but tremble. It soon remembered that there was indeed a worm who wanted to seduce it before. It could not be helped. It was the most charming snake among the snakes. Every spirit beast wanted to seduce it. Actually, I was just joking. Nan Xian replied calmly, noted. I'll remember what you said. Qing Zhu cried sadly. Master, don't you remember things for less than 7 seconds only? I'm begging you now. Please forget what I have just said. Just assume that I did not say anything. Is that okay? Nan Xian pulled Qing Zhu away from his arm. Then, he threw it aside expressionlessly. Chapter 881. The Mu family came to visit V. His gaze fell onto the young man who was standing on the surface of the water. His eyes darkened and there seemed to be an indescribable secret in his eyes. In the pavilion. Little Qing Han raised her little head. She looked up at Sui innocently. Grandma Sui, how did father know that mother is here? Mother didn't want him to know and that's why she didn't tell her. Sui was stunned. Why would Nan Xian know about her whereabouts when Feng Ruqing did not tell him herself? Qing Han, you don't have to ask anymore. I know now. Feng Ruqing closed her eyes slowly. She opened her eyes after a while. No wonder. No wonder she slept so soundly when she was at Fengyun Manor. But what Nan Xian didn't know was that she was still aware of her surroundings even when in deep sleep. Feng Riching thought that she had felt that way because she missed Nan Xian deeply. But it seemed not to be the truth after much consideration. Was the state preceptor following her? Sui seemed baffled. She did not know what had happened. Chinger, Sui. Suddenly, a familiar voice interrupted Sui. She became tense and cold. Her coldness was filled with a feeling of distancing herself from the rest of the world. Sui, are you back? Really? It was evening now. There was only the sound of the night breeze in the manor. Mu Ling's gaze fell on Sui. He seemed delighted and excited. Unknowingly, Sui felt that his excitement was faked. It was disgusting. You're the young manor master of the Mu family. How could you intrude upon us without asking for our permission? Sui laughed coldly. Then, she got up. Me for extra chapters. Feng Riching seemed calm. She got up slowly and held Sui's cold hand. Feng Riching knew that Sui would surely be troubled by the Mu family if she ever came back to Tianshan Manor. That was why she did not want Sui to be a part of this. But still, the Mu family came in the end. Sui, why didn't you inform me about your return? Mu Ling frowned slightly. If you had told me, I would have ordered someone to go and fetch you. Sui tilted her head and looked at Mu Ling calmly. Are you satisfied with the concubine I have sent you? If you're not, I don't mind sending you more concubines. Oh, that's right. I have forgotten about that. You're infertile now. Mu Ling's face darkened. He clenched his fists tightly. You're really the one who has done that, Sui. You were not like that in the past. When did you become so cruel? Mu Ling went to meet Sui because he wanted to talk with her calmly. But what Sui had said hurt him. The excitement on his face disappeared completely. Sui, don't forget that you're the young lady of the Mu family. Mu Ling was infuriated. What good does it bring you even if you did that? Sui smiled calmly. Don't you want to continue pretending here? Mu Ling was outrageous. Sui, why don't you learn from Qin Yan? You have always claimed that Qin Yan cannot be compared to you. But, she has been managing the entire Mu family in an orderly manner. The entire household praises her. Did any of the elders or servants praise you when you were there before? They were filled with complaints. Sui clenched her fists tightly. Her face paled. The old master had always been weak since the beginning. Therefore, he had given Sui the right to manage the entire Mu family. Chapter 882, Nan Xian is here. Sui had always treated the others strictly. She trained those people diligently for the sake of the Mu family. She wanted to strengthen the power of the Mu family. She started out as a strict superior so that the Mu family could always be on its guard. But Chen Qingyan did not have to tire herself out. She only needed to take some spirit herbs and give them to the people of the Mu family. They would surely obey her and praise her endlessly. But those spirit herbs belonged to the Mu family. The spirit herbs were arranged and shared accordingly. But it would surely ruin the Mu family in no time. Sui had always placed the benefits of the Mu family before herself. But it seemed to be her fault now. She could cease to care for the Mu family and Mu Ling. But all her efforts, time, patience, and even endless exhaustion were useless. All she received, in the end, were sarcastic criticisms. It showed how pathetic she was. A strong wave of wind came swiftly toward him. Mu Ling recovered his senses and dodged the attack. The strong wind hit the towering tree next to him. The entire tree was uprooted and fell crashing to the ground. Mu Ling dodged quickly, but the dirt on the ground still stained his clothes. The strong wave was swept up. He could not help but cough. His face darkened as he stared at Feng Ruqing coldly. A dark warrior. He did not guess wrongly. The young girl who stood in front of him was a dark warrior. Her strength would surely be outstanding even if she was among the people in Tianshan Manor. Unfortunately, there was a genius in Tianshan Manor and he was Nan Xian. Mu Ling wanted to look for a suitable match for Nan Xian who could match his status instead of another genius. Little girl. Mu Ling sneered and then smiled coldly. It's the Mu family's business. You're not one of us. You have no right to attack me on behalf of Suyi. Mu Ling would never forgive that young girl if it was not for the sake of Suyi, given that she attacked him first. Some people receive praises and admiration by giving out some small treats. Feng Ruqing walked toward Mu Ling. She sounded serious. Qin Yan doesn't know that what she has given out belongs to the Mu family. She did not have to contribute anything and the others would completely obey her nonetheless. On the contrary, some people tired themselves out their whole lives for the Mu family, yet they are blamed instead. Moreover, some people could not even think properly. Their brains seem to have been soaked in the water and they cannot distinguish the good from the bad. They're extremely stupid. What the young girl said sounded like a heavy hammer smashing against Mu Ling's heart. He was outraged. Young girl, don't assume that I'll allow you such privilege to criticize me just because Suyi is on your side. Feng Ruqing laughed. Criticize you? Do you even have a brain? That's just a pile of shit. Its content is shit too, me for extra chapters. How dare you? Mu Ling scolded loudly. Little girl, have you forgotten that I'm Nan Xian's father? If you want to be his woman, it's useless if you are nice to Suyi only. It's I who has the right to decide on his marriage. Suyi's eyes were cold. She wanted to say something to rebuke what Mu Ling said. However, Feng Ruqing gave her a warning glance. She seemed overbearing and stubborn. Suyi, go and wait for me somewhere else. You don't know how to deal with this kind of shameless people. Suyi was speechless. Unknowingly, the feeling of being protected by her daughter-in-law made Suyi want to cry. It was a warm feeling. So, Suyi obeyed her and did not say anything more. She went to stand further away, obediently. Then, Feng Ruqing turned around to look at Mu Ling. She smirked. Do you think that you're able to force Nan Xian to listen to you? Mu Ling's facial expression darkened. Nan Xian had never listened to his father. I'm his father. So what if he resists me? Parents always get to decide their children's marriage. He must not reject it. Oh. Feng Ruqing smiled a little. If he's willing to return to the Mu family, he'll bring along Suyi and leave. Suyi's eyes brightened. But she realized that it was not a good thing to do. So, she remained calm and neutral. That's enough. Mu Ling came that day for Suyi's sake and not Nan Xian's. I have come to talk to Suyi. You just get lost. Feng Ruqing smiled. You're permitted to talk to Suyi if you bring Qin Yan here. Ask her to kneel down and kowtow to Suyi until Suyi is willing to forgive her. She should do that to admit her wrongdoings. If Suyi doesn't forgive her, she should kneel down in front of her for the rest of her life. Mu Ling clenched his fists tightly. He was furious. At first, Nan Xian was not bothered about Qin Yan and had taken Black Dragon away for Feng Ruqing. Now, that young girl was humiliating Qin Yan in such a way. Qin Yan had never annoyed anybody first in her entire life. But they simply would not let her go. Mu Ling's eyes were cold and distant. Qin Yan is my woman. I need to be responsible for her whole life. She has sacrificed a lot for me. I must not wrong her. Qin Yan could even give up her life for Mu Ling. What right did he have to harm that kind of woman? Siyi, I know that you're upset with Qin Yan. He suppressed all of his anger when he faced Siyi. He tried to use a calm voice. But, I'm indebted to Qin Yan. I still owe her a life. I thought that you would understand my situation in the past. In fact, it's what I owe to her. Mu Ling had fallen in love with Qin Yan when he was young. But they could not be together because of his father's opposition. Later, he met Siyi. He thought that he had met his true love. He could give Qin Yan up for Siyi. He had even prioritized Siyi over everything else. He was always sincere and true to her. But Qin Yan saved him without caring for her own life. She almost died saving him. He should have humanity given that he was a human. He could not ignore Qinjian's deep love for him. Me for extra chapters. Moreover, it was normal for men to have a wife and several concubines. He never thought that Siyi would react so negatively. She did not even try to understand his actions. Siyi stood in the glow of the sunset without saying anything. Siyi. Mu Ling was having a headache now. When I was hurt, Qin Yan was the one who took care of me and stayed by my side. Where were you back then? Qin Yan was the one who saved me without thinking twice about dying for me. Where were you back then? I love you and that's why I tolerate your behavior. Don't you understand that? If another woman had made a mess like that and made him infertile, he would never pursue her again even if he chose to forgive her. There was only Siyi who could do that to him. He might have treated Siyi with much care until she forgot her place and became reckless. Siyi raised her head and stared at Mu Ling. But she never said anything and remained cold and distant because of what Feng Ruqing had said just now. Feng Ruqing held Siyi's trembling hand tightly. Then, she scanned Mu Ling coldly. Are you done? If Qin Yan is so good and nice, why have you come to bother Siyi? Do you want the rest of the world to know that you are still unable to forget about your ex-wife?